I'll never forget the day my life changed forever. It started with a phone call from a stranger, claiming I was in grave danger. "You're not who you think you are," the voice said, before hanging up. I tried to brush it off as a prank, but the words lingered in my mind. At first, I thought it was just a random wrong number, but as the days went by, I noticed strange occurrences around me. People would stare, whisper, and point. It was as if they knew a secret I didn't. I felt like I was living in a constant state of paranoia. One evening, I received a package with no return address. Inside, I found a photo of myself, but it was dated years before I was born. The caption read, "You're not who you think you are." I was starting to believe the stranger's claim. I decided to investigate my past, but every door I knocked on led to a dead end. It was as if my entire life was a fabrication. I felt like a character in a novel, written by someone else. Who am I? I asked myself, but the answer remained elusive. As I dug deeper, I discovered a name, Ethan Wright. It seemed to be connected to my alleged past, but I couldn't find any information about him. The more I searched, the more questions I had. What happened to Ethan Wright? I wondered. I started to experience strange flashbacks, memories that didn't belong to me. I saw a woman, a child, and a life I'd never known. The images were fragmented, but they felt real. What's happening to me? I asked, but there was no answer. The flashbacks intensified, and I began to question my sanity. Was I losing my mind, or was I uncovering a truth I'd been hiding from? I felt like I was trapped in a never-ending labyrinth, with no escape. One night, I received a call from an unknown number. "Meet me at the old warehouse at midnight," a voice said. "Come alone." I was hesitant, but my curiosity got the better of me. "What do you want from me?" I asked, but the line was dead. As I approached the warehouse, I noticed a figure waiting in the shadows. "Who are you?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The figure stepped forward, revealing a woman with piercing green eyes. "I'm someone who knows the truth," she said. The woman handed me a folder filled with documents and photos. "This is your life, or at least, the life you've been living," she said. I scanned the contents, and my world began to crumble. "What does it all mean?" I asked, feeling like I was drowning in a sea of uncertainty. As I delved deeper into the documents, I discovered a web of lies and deceit. My entire life had been a fabrication, a carefully constructed illusion. I felt like a puppet on strings, with someone else pulling the marionette's handle. The woman's eyes seemed to hold a deep sadness, as if she'd been searching for something her entire life. "What do you want from me?" I asked, trying to understand her motives. "I want to help you uncover the truth," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. As we walked through the deserted streets, the woman told me about an organization that had been manipulating people's lives for years. "They're the ones who created your false identity," she said. I felt like I was living in a conspiracy theory. The woman's words painted a picture of a sinister force, one that would stop at nothing to achieve its goals. I realized that I was just a small pawn in a much larger game. "What's the end game?" I asked, but she just shook her head. As we turned a corner, I saw a figure from my past, someone I thought I'd never see again. "It's you," I said, my voice trembling with anger. The figure smiled, and I realized that everything I thought I knew was a lie. "You're not who I thought you were," I said, my world crumbling around me. The figure's smile grew wider, and I saw a glimmer of recognition in their eyes. "You're starting to remember," they said. I felt a surge of memories, like a dam breaking. "What happened to me?" I asked, my voice shaking with emotion. As the memories flooded back, I saw glimpses of a life I'd never known. I saw a family, friends, and a home. But I also saw the organization, manipulating and controlling every aspect of my life. "Why?" I asked, my anger and frustration boiling over. The figure's expression changed, and for a moment, I saw a glimmer of humanity. "We were trying to protect you," they said. I didn't believe them, but a part of me wanted to. "From what?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. As we walked further, the figure told me about a powerful enemy, one that threatened to destroy everything. "You're the only one who can stop them," they said. I felt a sense of purpose, but also a sense of dread. "What's the enemy's name?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The figure hesitated, as if unsure whether to reveal the truth. "The enemy's name is Ethan Wright," they said. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "What do you mean?" I asked, my mind reeling with questions. As the truth began to unravel, I realized that I was the enemy. I was the one who had been manipulated and controlled, forced to live a life that wasn't mine. "What have I done?" I asked, my voice filled with regret and shame. The figure's eyes seemed to hold a deep sadness, as if they'd been searching for a way to stop me. "You've been given a second chance," they said. "Use it to make things right." I felt a sense of determination, a sense of purpose. "I will," I said, my voice firm and resolute. As I looked back on my life, I realized that I'd been living in a dream world. Everything I thought I knew was a lie, a carefully constructed illusion. "What's real?" I asked, my mind searching for answers. The woman's words echoed in my mind, "The truth is what you make it." I realized that I had the power to create my own reality, to forge my own path. "I'll make it right," I said, my voice filled with determination. As I walked away from the warehouse, I felt a sense of freedom, a sense of liberation. I was no longer bound by the chains of my false identity. "I'm free," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. But as I looked back, I saw the figure watching me, a reminder that my journey was far from over. "The enemy is still out there," they said. I felt a sense of trepidation, a sense of fear. "I'll be ready," I said, my voice firm and resolute. As I disappeared into the night, I knew that I'd never be able to go back to my old life. I'd been forever changed by the truth. "I'll always be looking over my shoulder," I said, my voice filled with a mix of emotions. The woman's words echoed in my mind, "The truth will set you free, but it will also put you in danger." I realized that I'd made a choice to live a life of truth and honesty. "I'll take the risk," I said, my voice firm and resolute. As I walked into the unknown, I felt a sense of uncertainty, a sense of fear. But I also felt a sense of hope, a sense of possibility. "What's next?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. And then, everything went black. I felt a sense of peace, a sense of closure. "It's over," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. But as I looked up, I saw the figure standing over me, a smile on their face. "It's just beginning," they said, and everything went black once more.